submissive towards it because it is machinery that is advanced. Excuse me, really advanced machinery.
Like do the shoe mount and stuff like that set up on there. If it's easy, like then slide out fucking. Let's try. Yeah, yeah. Let's try that. Let's try that later. That's great. Yeah, everything's good. We're live. Oh, we're not chat. That's nothing on me. Yo, what's good, chat? It's last class at City University. To be honest with my voice is shot a little bit. My foot ought to be amputated. It really does not work. It just gives me a miracle getting around today. But we push me ball. I believe the closing ceremony is today. And I'm going to be honest, everyone was so beat from yesterday because the alumni day was yesterday. She was so chaotic and crazy that I generally don't even know if, like, I actually want to go to class. Now, I do have an 11 a.m. class today, so no 10 a.m. class. Yeah. You hop in there. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about we just do average university to maintain momentum. And, bro, let me just tell you, bro, man, professors, I respect y'all, man. Seriously. Because I'm finishing stream, I'm finishing 16-hour streams, and I'm spending a couple hours of writing and working on the next one. And keep in mind, I'm not just working on it the night before. Like, we did many days of prep. Like, as soon as I knew I was going to come here, I was prepared. So, like, I didn't make sure my shit's fire, man, you know? It's like, as much chaos and bullshit has happened last night, I just really want someone to learn something. And the fire part about this is, to me, it's not just the 20 people in class that get to learn. Like, that ass the notion of today, I'm teaching today. It is what it is, you know? I'm teaching you all. Yeah, I'm right here. Right here. We started 5 minutes. Hey, how you doing? Why do you always have that Louis Vuitton pencil on you? Yeah, I don't know you are. Are you supposed to be in class? Okay. Yeah, just kidding. I get breakfast? Hey, it's 5 minutes. I like that. Yeah, thank you. I feel like I've seen you many times, but I see this What's up? What's that doing? What's up? That's good. Yeah, I dabbled in getting coaching on the class. Yeah. Nowadays I kind of play rivals, but yeah, it can be like that, especially with the new season. It's kind of cool. But I enjoyed it though. I dabbled though. If there's tournaments, I'll learn Rainbow Six, I'll learn COD, stuff like that. Yeah. Appreciate it. Hey there, what up, Marky? Yo, nobody can tell love enough credit because we're missing a talent in the game, to be honest, bro. Like, Tyler, the nigga that, like, go to everybody's room to make sure they're okay and they're sorted. You know, if you're shy, Tyler got you. Make sure you get some interactions, that you feel at home. Like, obviously, there are people trying, but there was, like, an effort he went through last year that, like, You can't really replicate it, bro. That's
I didn't start. That's just told you. I see like, oh, it's not really I see it's not. I need to feel the people that to see it's helping you store creative.
yeah.
Gets us isolated, seeing issues. I guess things like that. So,
I'm curious to see how you get it, Chad. Chad was valedictorian. I've been watching this, but I think I got some this valedictorian today, man. You got the class for Jason? I feel like he's lying. He was kicking it. You can be coming here for every class different. Every class is different. I would not teach the same class, but I'm not chat with just seems like, yeah, and you can just go back to the pods if you want to see my flat side. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Intro class.
I'm done.
Oh, congrats.
It was lovely. It was like promised 10 a.m. We were going to see the story last night.
Yeah, I was going to go back to
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I was like, 10 a.m. That was
And you got fucking, if you got a professor in your class, dude, go to the class, bro. Class. No, it's not. Actually, no, I had 10 a.m. too. Actually, university starts at fucking 8, and you gotta wake up at 7 to get there on time. I see that. I can see that. It's good food. This class started to look like, hey there, how you doing? You good? Say it again. It's awesome. It was fun to have I mean, sure, come here. Yeah, we can control, but you can present it like I'll be dead ass. Because, yeah, I was like, you got my class or not? Yo, Dante, what up, dude? How you doing, man? Yeah, why you got that, though? That got to do a class. Okay, cool. I know you're not the type to use something like that, but that's good. If you're not the type to use that, hey, you just like that. It could be there. Yeah. Don't shoot me. I know it hurts. I've been shot before. Yeah, that's my last class. Yeah, we'll start about 5 minutes after. So in about 6 minutes then. Alright, yo, what's up? What up, Marvin? How you doing, man? Experience was a lot. I'm trying to picture that, like, I actually take it. That's why. First, hers is one class I really wanted to. Wow, I thought I was class. Real thing. Yeah, so you can actually ask questions at times. Yeah, see, you should make a brain motion. Yeah, she said. You got my shit? Yeah. I'm gonna see you in the Twix. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. What up, Alex? How you feeling? So you good? You're alive. You're still here. Awesome. But, last day. Last week. First week last. It's 11. You have to get a ride. It's not a bad one. See people who say that. So you can relax. Yeah, I got so, yeah. You're must get it. Yeah. Just one dinner. Hey there, how you doing? Fantastic. Yes, I'm glad to meet you. I take it on when we leave, to be honest. But I believe the closing ceremony is today, right?
You never know. Yeah, but I looked at the app and said, yes, what up, man? How you doing? I didn't look at my app. They said it's today. I forget what time, but. You don't get no app. So what's your shirt? You don't say nigga? You don't cuss at all. I respect that. Okay. What's the reason you like this performance? Yeah, me too. I've been trying to tone it down, man. Being crazy sometimes. I didn't respect that though. If you're not enough emotion, you're cool with anything, but at the same time, it helps them not to say. It's like the one thing it helps them not to say. Yeah, just saying it alone, you like lose all the really famous, really brands like Coca-Cola and Disney. So how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah. I gotta get my class started, but yeah. Yeah, absolutely can attend my class, man. Is that you? So, was it really? You actually can't sit there, Sarah. I know you want to get as close to me as possible, but I know you want to get as close to me as possible, but this actual pad impede my ability to walk. Okay. How you doing? Hey, I'm getting that ass up. My mindset is also enough gas. Yeah. How you doing? You good? Surprised you showed up. What's good? Someone say classic. Yo. Yes, which one? Which one? Sean. Hey there. Yeah, take a seat. Go on ahead. Do it to the Hawks. I don't know that might. We'll see what they gave up. We'll see what they gave up. I gotta call Legend of Winning to make sense in this trade, man. Just make good. We gotta call Legend of Winning to make sense in this trade, man. So thank you for the gift. We're gonna give him a couple more minutes. Sounds like you're excited for the last class. I thought it might be the opposite. I thought people might be like, all right, it's enough learning. That's good. Oh, okay. That's not a bad shot. Yeah. I know. I will, but I don't. Yeah, I know. No, I didn't know watch this coming up. That's why I asked. You trying to ego me? I know. How you doing, man? How's your experience been? Ready? Tired? Let's go. I feel like you're a confident person, though. Yeah, I get that. It's not to know some people know. Ready to talk? I'm ready to say that. Yeah. That's what I like to hear, man. Hold it down. Take a seat, please. Take a seat, please. Oh, Arby, you got beef? Yo, so look. What's up, man? Hey, can everybody please be quiet? Alright, so. Yo, who's still talking?
All right. First thing I want to say is I appreciate y'all. I know yesterday's probably crazy for a lot of you, so the fact you guys woke up means that you guys are taking this real stuff seriously. Let's clap it up for yourselves real quick. Okay. All right, so I figured before we get out of here and finish this experience, you're going to go back home after this, and it's going to be life again. It's going to be the life that it was before you got here. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but in some places, it's just potent. You know, content's potent, ideas are potent. There's certain areas you're more creative. There's certain rooms I prefer to brainstorm in. This area right here, you will never experience something like this again. You will never have content this easy again. You will leave here and it will be a lot harder. Some days you might not want to stream. Some days you might be too tired. You're not feeling like it. But today I want to challenge you to think about what your future looks like beyond here. The reason why I say that is because I realized from my conversations with a lot of people that maybe were big on TikTok and Instagram but want to get into like streaming on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. So those people specifically, I want y'all to really lock in here today, because if you don't come up with a game plan before you leave here, what's most likely going to happen is you will finish and then you will go home, and in a month's time you probably won't be streaming anymore. You're going to realize there's some parts of it that's not that fun. And maybe you don't always feel like doing it. And maybe it does take a ton of time. And maybe there are a lot of expectations. So I'm hoping by the end of this, we'll come up with a game plan. So just kind of lock in, pay attention. And as I'm explaining certain concepts, just think about like what this looks like for you and your content. Obviously, there's a variety of content here. We got any gamers? Anything that's primarily game? Okay, it's about half the room. How about IRL? People do primarily IRL. The other half of the room. So it's like, I'm going to say things, and you have to understand, you have to personalize this for the type of content that you like. And when it comes to any content-related question, it's always relative to the audience, every single time. What works for Key is not going to work for Sale. They have completely different audiences. You have to consider these, because if you're not appealing to your audience, you're just appealing to them. All right, the boring stuff out the way first. I know you've heard this a million times, and this feels like the nothing slide. On everything I stand for, if you ignore everything you learn here at Stream University, but you just get consistent in body short form, you will become a big streamer. This is undoubtedly true. It sounds boring, and it almost feels like, okay, but I post on TikTok, but how good are the TikTok? Are they banging? If you go look at Ludwig's TikTok and go see how good they've been doing, look at the stuff he posted on Twitter, and go see how that's a guy that executes. So compare that to the TikToks you've been posting. Compare that to the reels that you've been posting, and see if there's areas you can improve. And the consistency. Yeah, bro. Streaming is one of those things where people want to see you, man. You have a community, right? If it says last live 10 days ago, there has to just be a good reason. Some family stuff came up. Maybe you had a medical emergency. Otherwise, I really want to implore, like, streaming is fun, but sometimes you have to stream when it's not that fun to you. Or maybe when you don't quite feel like it, because your community deserves for you to show up. And one of the things I pride myself on is being consistent. I don't always feel like going live. One thing about me, once I go live, I always end up feeling better about it. It's kind of like going to the gym. Like, you don't want to do it, but then sometimes when you get to the gym, I know too much about the gym. Okay? All right. If you're streaming, you're either here to entertain or inform. It's just that simple. Do we have anybody in whose primary job is to like inform? You make like informational content? A little bit. So that's a lot more self-explanatory, because your value is essentially the things that you can learn from it. So how could you possibly just find best ways to maximize that? When it comes to entertaining, it's a little bit more subjective, because everybody finds something else entertaining. We all have different favorite TV shows and different favorite movies and different favorite content creators. I'm going to make some parallels between other genres so you can connect some concept and see how you can apply that to your content. So you need a content strategy. Before you leave here today, maybe I'm going to give you guys some time. I'll give you like 2 minutes to write down what this looks like for you. But the 3 questions are streams. How many times do you expect to stream? The answer should be at least a minimum of 2. The length, how long will streams have to be? Maybe you get tired, I don't know, you want to push yourself. Like, how long is the average stream for you? And the content, what type of content you want to stream? Especially for those early in their journey, leaving Streaming University without a clear idea of what this looks like, I guarantee you in 6 months you will not be streaming. This is like coming up with a vague goal. If you don't know where you're headed, it's impossible to take them in the right direction. So please take a moment to think about what this looks like for you. I'm going to give you like 1 or 2 minutes. For the more seasoned streamers, we'll get into more like complicated topics in a second. But take a moment and think about what this looks like for you. You can yap amongst yourself. Right. Dave? Nah, you don't necessarily even, to be honest, I'm not that much of an expert in the baseball channel, but what I will say is because for everything, and there's probably been a lot of conversation before you, that you can study everything they did on the Dolphins. And we probably have a lot of answers to go accurately. Yeah. All right, I hope you guys did down need to ask. I really, what I don't want to hear is 8 months from now when Kai putting up his next year university. Damn, man. Arguing from this year university didn't take it seriously. You got the opportunity to come here. You know how rare this is? You are one of the coolest events ever hosted in streaming history. And you're giving it your all while you're here. And then you're going to go home. And the expectation is you're going to continue to give it your all. The expectation is you're going to, when you get done training with lethal shooter, the expectation is they're going to perform after that. Because he's a professional, he takes his job seriously. So I need y'all to really take this seriously. Streaming is fun, but the same way basketball is fun, hoopers are expected to hoop when they might not be that fun when they got a roulette, when they might be hurt, when they might be tired, when there might be stuff going on in their lives. So this is not, streaming's not the hardest job in the world, but the more seriously take out, guarantee you'll see way, way more dividends. All right, so let's talk about ideas a little bit. Ideas should be easy, all right? And I really mean that. This is a creative passion. It shouldn't be that challenging to come up with ideas that you think are going to fulfill for your life. I'm going to explain to you guys how I come up with mine, in case you guys need a framework. But if you're struggling with ideas, I really challenge you to think outside the box. Because a creative not being able to come up with ideas is like an athlete without muscle. It's almost impossible to do the thing without having the prerequisite. The creativity is what people carry. It's what defines people. So it is what makes Cosnet so fun to watch. Strong of a human, you never know what you're going to get. It's a bag of everything. And he is the main character. So what I usually do is I'll come up with some dedicated breaks sometimes. This always kind of sounds like obvious, but I guarantee most people don't do it. I have some time every week, sometimes twice a week, where I'll either do it in my car or in my room. There's a specific playlist I play. So I have a bonfire, and there's no Spotify. I do some breathing exercise before for like 2 to 5 minutes, get some left foot, and I just, sometimes I do for myself, where I just walk around my room, and I talk, ideas, I just go back and forth with myself, and I get bangers. That's one of the ways I do it. More recently, I've been having a lot more success having conversations. You talk to Mondo, and then he says something that lights up in your brain, and as soon as I get the light, I write it with my notes off. I don't have no control. More than 1,000 ideas. I'll scroll through them and it's a disaster looking through them. Over 1,000 ideas. Sometimes they can be a tiny segment, sometimes they can be a huge event. And so anytime I think to myself, what should I do today? I don't have to think about it. I literally scroll through the long idea list because I already did the work of thinking of an idea. This is part of the job. This is not something that casually happens. This is something that you try to do. You have to make it happen. And then beyond that, I think the part that a lot of people miss is just watching. As you're watching content, actually are coming up with ideas. You're just not realizing, right? And so I'll give you an example. There's my biggest video of all time back when I made gaming content on my 2K channel. I used to watch a lot of Rainbow Six videos. I was in that heavy. And I wasn't good at the game, but I liked watching the video. I seen a guy, actually I seen a guy doing FIFA for me first, where he played all the FIFAs. Every single FIFA, and put it in one video. And I thought to myself, man, I'm making NBA 2K content. I should do something like that for my shit. And I collect games. I already own all the NBA 2Ks. That video ended up getting like 9 million views. It was probably my biggest game video I've ever made in my life. And it was an idea I only got because I was watching content but I was paying attention. I could have watched that same video and not put two and two together, which is actually what most people do. But when you're really passionate about something, you're going to watch it and pay attention to the detail. Why did that title just hook me? Which word wasn't in the title that did it for me? What was it about that thumbnail that made me give it a second look? When you ask these questions, you ask these questions to learn. When you put yourself in content mode, you have to be in content mode. It's like, if you're not, it's almost as if you're skipping the learning part and you're just doing it. It's like the equivalent of never practicing basketball, you're just only playing games.
And at a certain point, you're going to realize you learn a lot more by paying attention to some of these things. So this is what I do. Everybody's different. Some people have entire teams of creative people that can help them. Other people prefer to do it slowly. Everybody has their own process. You have to figure out what that was for you. And it's so personal. It's so personal. So many people who think it's silly to be doing this have to go, oh God, man. Hey, it is the thing that helps. But anytime I think of something or I need to make a decision, I need some clarity. Earlier, even before I had exams and stuff, I was doing good things. And so, this should be easy. And in 3 months' time, if this doesn't feel easy for you, it's because you're not trying. I'm telling you. Because you're a bad creative. Creativity is not something you're born with. Creativity is something that you train. And if you're not actively training it, then it is something you feel like, oh, I'm thinking that. How come I can't come up with ideas? But this person comes up with ideas. You're not trying. You're not trying. So how about you give it a shot? Create some dedicated breaks from time. If it helps, put it in your calendar. Have some meetings. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean have a team. Talk to your friends. Shop content. Anytime I have a big idea, I call my friend, yo, what you think about this? Oh, I think of this. Nah, you can improve that. And just as long as you have friends that keep it going with you, that's not going to lie to you and have you pull the trigger on bad ideas, it's going to help. So this part, I feel like should be kind of self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised at how many content creators struggle with it. All right, let's talk a little bit about appeal. I mean, it's what I call it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same thing regardless of what form of entertainment. There's high appeal ideas and there's low appeal ideas. Shimmer University is just a high appeal idea. This is the university where we're learning, bro. Learning is not that fun. But God found a way to package it so that everybody on the internet cares about this one thing at this given time. Unless it's Maya Talk, TED Talks are pretty boring, bro. Okay? It's not that fun to watch a TED Talk, guys. And your TED Talk as well. Yes. Okay, well, we got 2 entertaining TED Talks. I will say, like, when you see this, sometimes you think learning, maybe not that fun. And when you see this, you will think content, fun. It's just the way it's packaged. At the end of the day, this is like, for some reason, talking about content, it's just the packaging. So figuring out a way to take ideas that can be good and make them ideas that are amazing is your job, and is probably the hardest part of your job. This is another example. This is one I did. Now, you could sit there and camp in your backyard with no stakes, but that's not that fun and entertaining. Or you can take it all the way to the Amazon jungle and risk your life. So it's like there's a high appeal version of the very boring thing. And this applies to like a lot of different concepts. You could play basketball, or you could create a basketball team and then have cuts. And so, let me give you another example. Anybody know Andy Ginge? So last year he did a series called Pro Clubs. I mean, if you guys play FIFA or EFC, you know what Pro Clubs is. It's you and your pros. Every person is a player on a team, and you guys try and climb the ladder. It's that simple. Usually that content isn't like super electrifying to watch, but the way he did it is he had a roster. He would play with his team. They were making cuts. It was all this drama on who should be cut, who shouldn't be cut. It was like watching a reality TV show. He did the high appeal version of something people do a boring version of every single day. There is a high appeal version of the boring thing you're accidentally doing, and you just haven't figured it out yet. Challenge yourself to figure out what this version of it looks like. And I'm going to explain to like different ways you can do it. But in this instance, I just increased the stakes tremendously. It took a lot of learning and risk, and I'm in the jungle. I could get all my dad going. And so as long as you know how to stream it there, you have the tech center to do it, 100% was worth it for me. And so I really want to outline, like, it doesn't have to be a high stakes thing. I would sit there and watch LeBron James and Kai Cenat and fucking watch Patreon. It's just that simple. So this is a super high appeal thing. I mean, he can sit there with anybody on stream, but sometimes the appeal is, who you're doing something with. Sometimes the appeal is simply, who you're doing something with. And that actually goes to the next topic. So Cenat talked a lot about this. Anybody pay attention to Cenat's collab, you have a pretty good understanding of what a good collab looks like. So there's a marathon I wanted to do. I have this crazy concept. I'm getting into Pokemon. I'm doing these packs. I want to do this marathon where I walk around Hawaii, capturing Pokemon on Pokemon Go, then use Unreal Engine to create the world and put the Pokemon with us while we battle them on Showdown. It kind of sounds like, one, creative, but then two, almost not real. But we found some programmers that can help make it possible.
And then I thought to myself, okay, we have this creative concept. It's kind of interesting. Like we're walking around catching Pokemon, but how can I make it even more interesting? In my head, I thought, let me gather some people that I already love doing content with that also love Pokemon to increase the appeal tremendously. And this is probably one of the most fun pieces of content that I had a chance to do. We went to Hawaii and did it last August, and we've only collabed again once since then, but every time we see each other, bro, it's just a topic that we talk about in the chat. So the collabs, the people you're doing something with can be the way to increase appeal. And the reason why I say that is because the appeal could be in the room with you right now. It could be the person next to you. It doesn't have to be the crazier idea, the one that costs more money. The appeal could be right beside you, and you just don't realize it. And for me, last year I was here in Stream University as a professor. That was my first time actually meeting. Hey, Kate, man, how you doing, man? You don't have a clocks, do you? Yeah, that. Just, I guess it. And so, for me, a version of what high appeal looks like for me is not just creative, not just high stakes, and not just who you're doing with. So I ended up meeting Extra Emily here in Stream University last year, and we kicked it off. And it's not even a person I was thinking I would be able to kick it off with, but I mean, the content flowed in Stream U, and then we ended up doing the Pokemon Game. In my head, I'm thinking like, oh my God, the content's amazing. I love doing content with her. Let's play Elden Ring. So I'm like, okay, I can play Elden Ring. First of all, Elden Ring is a phenomenal game. Do we all agree? Okay. But how can I make it more entertaining? First of all, it's not your time, bro. You wasn't there for that. You was playing with rocks and stones, my boy. So there's the idea. Already, being able to beat Elden Ring is a pretty good concept. The game itself is super challenging. The difficulty, the challenge is the appeal. Okay, how can I make it better? Maybe I could play it with somebody. Because I know that the collab could be the thing that increased the appeal. So I'll hit up Emily. I found a duo mod that kind of worked. It just barely made it through. And we was able to play the game together. Okay, we made it more appealing. Now I found something to do with. How can I make Elden Ring more appealing? Well, we created a world in Unreal Engine where we literally role-played the whole fucking thing and pretended like we were Elden Lords, and we had a whole bunch of backgrounds in the game. So as we played different bosses, we had different worlds that we were actually in. We role-played the whole thing. So now it's this whole piece where it was a 7-day event. I know, it took us 7 days. Where we had a blast doing some IRL content, where we did vacate this room sometimes to like go to Cookout for a little bit and shit like that. But we took the low appeal, not even low appeal. It actually, playing Elden Ring alone is not a bad shout. But then we just found a bunch of other ways to make it really, really interesting, and we pulled the trigger. This was one of my favorite marathons that I've ever done. Is that concept clear for you guys? It's like taking something and finding ways to make it as good as possible, then pulling the trigger. You got a question, Paige? No, we didn't know mimics and we didn't know magic. Yeah, I wasn't that good, so we were just thugging it out. We were figuring it out.
Did you have help from someone?
Yeah, sometimes there was times where Emily was in her Discord and like certain mods were like helping her, guide her to like very unique things you would never find without it. But generally speaking, we try to figure it out ourselves. So I will talk a little bit about that, but you don't necessarily need a budget to make something really interesting. Let me give you an example. I love doing fun sub incentives. I've done sub incentives where I tied myself to helium balloons. Every 5 subs, I add a helium balloon to see when I'm going to float away. I've done sub incentives where we buy a bunch of t-shirts and see if I can break the t-shirt world record. You know, I keep putting t-shirts on. The idea itself paid for itself, right? The t-shirts were like, what, $2 a piece? But each sub is, what, $6? So it's not that you're making money off the idea, but it's that you just have to find creative ways to do something that's entertaining. Sometimes it's really simple. I did this one sponsorship with the NBA where they bought the trophy, the NBA trophy, the Larry O'Brien, to the house, and we did like a 1v1 competition. Cool. NBA loved it. But then There was an NBA player there. Clarence was there. There was a bunch of the bros. Dami was there. And I was thinking to myself, what else is something that we could do? We could kick it here at the house. But for some reason, I can't explain what it is. Going to Waffle House always hits. So I'm like, okay, something as simple as going to Waffle House made it a little bit more interesting. It felt like, oh, it's something to do. And that cost us nothing but some, price of some waffles. So don't think like you need to scale things to a crazy degree. I'm just trying to illustrate how far you can take things. And I won't lie, having money does help, being able to scale things, because certain things will cost money. But there is a bunch of free ways you can do the same thing. Let's talk a little bit about burnout. Has anybody in here ever felt that before? Streaming is a very arduous and time-intensive task. I was a YouTuber for a long time before I ever streamed, and I can tell you YouTube is easier in that sense because you can always hire people on YouTube. You can hire editors. You can hire people to buy you time. All you have to be is on camera for as long as the video shoot takes. And then you're off. And then you can go do whatever else and post it whenever you want. On stream, you're on stream. You're on stream as long as the stream is on, right? So the stream requires you. You can't hire for it. There's no stunt double. There's no AI that can do it for you. So it is easy to burn out. I like to use athletes as an example here because athletes do take really good care of their mental and their physical because it's part of their job. But for some reason, people don't connect the dots. It's also part of your job. You have to take care of your physical and your mental. And it doesn't, like for me, for example, I got so many blisters on my toes, like I don't know if I'll be able to walk today. So, but it's something I could have done a better job at. It's going to prevent me from doing certain content. Beyond that, though, you have to know where your line is. Everybody's a little bit different. If you felt you crossing over the line before, you have to be aware enough to identify where it is so you never cross it again. Because if you want to come up with the best way to shorten your lifespan as a content creator, keep crossing the line. You will eventually retire. It's just that simple. You keep crossing that line, and sayonara, you're going to have to put the fries in the fucking bag at a certain point, bro. And then also you have to watch film. You know what I'm saying? If you're not watching film, you're missing half of the game. Because you can learn all the lessons yourself. It's very positive, but it sucks. It costs money, it's expensive, and sometimes it hurts. It's easier to watch other people make the same mistakes and learn from it. So if you did something on stream, sometimes that can be just reviewing your own stream. But also, everybody in here is also streaming, and everybody fucks up. It make you pay attention to other people's fuck-ups. You're going to learn a lot of lessons. And it's better to not have to learn in the hard way. I'm be honest with you. Everyone's different. I don't feel burnout, and it's very weird. I know where my line is, and I know how to de-stress myself. All I got to do is race for a day, and I'm back. But there are certain people where they do end up having to take long breaks. Burnout's just a real thing. So it's time intensive. Just take care of yourself, man. Don't think you're better than a program. It's not. It can't potentially happen to me. It just hasn't felt like it yet. So sometimes it can hit you like a ton of bricks. And have you ever talked to somebody that has dealt with burnout before? It's like, it's a lot, bro. Like, and it makes sense. Like, no, I don't know therapy shit, but talk to people about it. Don't do it solo, gang. Have some friends, Have some friends that do it with you. It's going to help guide you through the journey. Anytime I'm feeling away, I talk to the bros, and it makes me feel better. Passion. Okay, this goes without saying, but do you guys actually enjoy streaming? On everything I stand for, I had a couple conversations. There's some people here that don't, okay? And that's okay. Maybe you prefer YouTube. Maybe you prefer acting. Maybe you prefer something else. But I guarantee you, if you don't fuck with this, eventually it's going to break you. Because fucking with it is actually the thing that's going to make you want to push through. The endurance from being fucking hate farmed and being burnt out and feeling like you're not that appreciated and having to deal with bullshit or whatever it comes with, you only get through that if you really care about the passion. The learning also comes from the passion. If you really care about it, when you get off stream, you're also learning. There's a streaming university called YouTube, bro. Fucking YouTube the problem. And people have made YouTube videos about every topic under the sun. Everything you possibly want to learn is on YouTube and Google. The passion is going to inform the learning. And Chris will tell you he's my roommate, I literally go to sleep learning things, and I wake up remembering them. So, I'll learn certain topics. I care about racing right now. I go to sleep watching racing videos. I care about making bread. I go to sleep watching economy videos. I need to know what's happening. I care about streaming. I go to sleep learning things about streaming YouTube videos. I don't care how many times I've heard it. There's always something new I can learn. Don't be too arrogant when it comes to learning something new. And understanding tech comes from love too. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's a lot of technologically retarded people in this university. And that's okay. And it's not an insult. It's just a lot of people that don't understand how to use their phones and their cameras, including me. We had a lapel problem yesterday, and if we didn't bump into fucking Mr. Keem, we would have been fried for the whole day. It just is what it is, bro. But you know what I did, though, when I found Keem? I didn't just let him fix the problem for me. I said, yo, what happened here? And he broke down and explained to me why we was having the lapel issue. He gave me a free fucking battery to solve the lapel issue, and then we had no problems for the rest of the day. You will have, yo, bro, there's nothing more frustrating than the stream lagging, and you don't know what to do about it. And in most situations, the solution exists. You haven't learned it yet. There's tech classes on campus, and there's geniuses in the room. If you're not learning from them, it's almost like, do you have the passion? Because I don't care that much about audio technology, right? I'm not passionate about audio technology, but I care enough about streaming to want to do it right. And so take it as an opportunity, bro. Like, not just meeting people and learning things, but wow. Hey, Guapo. Thanks for joining us. All right. This is not a surprise. You guys are in an event, and you probably feel it. The meta is currently events. And I know it feels like you could never pull off your own stream university because it probably costs $55 million. I don't know how expensive this event is. But you can be part of other people's events. And when people ask you, say yes. Unless it's something you're morally against, something like that. Because there is no easier attention. First of all, let me tell you why